1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your boy Matt Diazable coming at you with a new music review. Thanks for coming on by. I appreciate it. Today, I am checking out the latest Bleeding Through album called 9. Bleeding Through is a American metalcore band based out of Orange County, California, and has been a band since about 1999. And them coming out from California at the time in the late 90s, a lot of people were associating California with sunny things, ska music, or even just more pop punk stuff and just lighthearted stuff, never really dark stuff. But this band here, Bleeding Through, they went with the opposite direction and came out really strong with some really heavy blackened death metal, even like black metal style playing here, and really kind of like switch things up on the whole California scene with just their heaviness and just extremeness when they first came out the gates, similar to bands like Throwdown and 18 Visions. And me personally, I discovered this band probably in like 2009, probably 2010, 11, right when at the time, I wouldn't say they were on their down, they were trending down a little bit. They were a band for like 10 years and were slowing down a little bit because they called it quits in like 2014. And I was like surprised, but not surprised. They've been in the game for a long time, but then they came back in 2018 with an album called this, I think if I'm correct, This Love will kill us all, and they had a song on there, Set Me Free. Oh, such a good song. It's so good. I got it tattooed on me. It's such a great song. And with this latest album, they are pushing their style of symphonic metalcore music even further. Bleeding Through has been, they're just masters at blending symphonic darkness with relentless metalcore aggression. And this latest album, 9, it's no exception. While they are refining their signature sound with some impressive execution, there are moments on this album where, they kind of lean into a little bit of a familiar territory a little bit too much. So occasionally, some of the songs feel a little bit predictable than innovative. Gallows kicks everything off with having some really gritty guitar riffs that have a very distorted feel to them, while also having some pounding drums. While Hail Destruction, takes a more menacing approach by slowly building upon itself and having a very massive and gothic onslaught. So I want to play a clip of Hail Destruction for you. Just an onslaught of metalcoreness. And I gotta say that the drum work on this album is particularly really strong with their tight and punchy rhythm, and they just drive the songs along nicely. And whether it's blasting some extreme blast beats or crushing breakdowns, I would say the drums do a really good job of holding things together on this album. I hope I get his name right, but the main vocalist, Brandon Shapati, his vocals, they remain a force to be reckoned with in the metalcore scene because they are raw, vicious, and unwavering after almost 2 decades of just belting out some hard-hitting vocals. Like on the song Dead But So Alive, it really showcases his ability to tap into some like blackened, almost death metal intensity with his vocals. And even then, he can still add some like nice clean vocals to help balance things out. So here's a little clip of Dead But So Alive. The man still got chops. He still got it. While on the song Lost in Isolation, you get a nice contrast with his ferocity because they have some really nice soaring female vocals that add a nice haunting and melancholy feeling to the overall song and the record. It's just not him. They have a good balance of other vocals too. However, some clean sections, such as I Am Resistance, feel a little bit flat because they lack a little bit of emotional weight to them to really elevate the songs. Their signature symphonic elements remain a highlight here, weaving eerie synths and just haunting melodies into the chaos. A good example of that is on the song Emery here, because it adds a very unsettling atmosphere with ambient textures and just eerie keys to create a very feeling of like spiraling into a weird psychosis before erupting into a huge crushing finale. So I want to play a clip of Emery so you get a sense of just that psychosis they are creating here. Very eerie, very creepy. Another song that leans into that whole grand symphonic feel is the song Our Brand is Chaos, which the song itself sounds really good, but the chorus, it feels a little bit forced, especially with lyrics like fuck with us and find out. Something about this line just comes off more cheesy than menacing. The album delivers plenty of highlights for sure, but some tracks like Path of Our Disease feel a little bit more on the standard bleeding through fare, like they're kind of just going through it and just, here you go. Also, like on Wartime, they lean into more of a traditional classic metalcore style, delivering a very strong sound, but it's somewhat formulaic and kind of predictable. Still, when Bleeding Through is at their best, they are hitting hard. Like Hail Destruction is a prime example of the massive sound they can create with the symphonic elements really flourishing and making it one of the most devastating tracks on the album. Then you have Last Breath, which is a very somber interlude with some ghostly and haunting female vocals that have some weeping violins in the background to really serve as a nice bridge between the final track and everything. And, you know, as a whole, it works well with the album. Bleeding Through isn't reinventing the wheel here, but you know, they don't need to. This album is just a powerful refinement of their sound. Dark, aggressive, and just dripping with gothic atmosphere. While some moments on this album feel a little bit worn out in terms of like being a little bit repetitive, the band's execution is still very top notch. And when they push their intensity to its peak, they remain one of the most compelling and interesting acts in the genre. All I gotta say is Bleeding Through is continuing to perfect their formula of delivering very crushing yet familiar and formulaic metalcore experiences, but they still sound very grand and very epic at the same time. So I would give this new album from Bleeding Through a good and solid 7.5 out of 10. What did you think of this album? Like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you thought, and give me some more recommendations. And like always, I will see you in the pit.